One thing you might have wondered is if you run into a chord that's like A major 13, or like in that Stevie Wonder video that we were, Isn't She Lovely chord chart we were just looking at. Wait for that to load. You might be wondering, okay, I've got a lot of notes to play here, and how am I going to fit them all into my hand? My hand doesn't actually stretch this far, from A past another A all the way up almost to another A. That's almost 2 octaves. My hand only goes from about here to here, or if your hand's really big, it could go, you know, like some people are just have huge hands. Rachmaninoff actually had a hand that went from A all the way up to this E, which is just insane. Um, but I've seen kind of commonly people go up to about a ninth, or most people can stretch to an octave, and some people can't even do that. So clearly, an A major 13 chord that's laid out like this, there's no way you're playing that in one hand. And so you might be asking the question, well, Josh, how the hell do I play this chord? And it comes, so there's kind of two answers. One is you can rearrange the letters. Like, remember how we did this B, you could bring this B over here. You could bring this D over here. You could bring this F sharp over here. But even scrunching them up like this, like if you just played this scrunched up mess of letters, it would sound really muddy, and you don't want that. And so we're about to come to a very interesting concept, which is that you can actually omit certain notes. And your ear will assume that those notes are there. It's almost like your ear will kind of hear them as being implied. So let's talk about what notes you can omit. So root. Let's pretend you're playing this root in your left hand, or if you're playing with a band, maybe the bass player is playing this note, and you can omit it altogether. But if you're playing by yourself, you're going to want to play the root, probably in your left hand. The fifth of most chords is pretty bland, unless it's a sharp 5. A sharp 5 has a lot of color, or a flat 5 has a lot of color, but a normal 5 is very bland, and so you can omit that. What else can you omit? Here's a really interesting thing. So normally when you hear jazz musicians talk, or people who talk about music theory, you're going to hear the following statement. The most important notes in the chord are the third and the seventh. And they're right. Why? Because the third and the seventh are what determine the flavor of the chord. If I move this third from here to here, and if in other words, if I play a flat third, that changes this from a major chord to a minor chord. That's a big deal. Huge change in the flavor of the chord. Or if I change this seventh from a major seventh to a flat seventh, then that would make this chord a dominant 7, not a major 7, which is a really big deal. So the third and the seventh forms the foundation of the chord harmonically. It's basically the most important thing that determines the quality. Now I'm going to say something radical. You can omit the third. But I thought, Josh, you just said that the third's the most important note in the chord. Well, it is. But here's the thing about thirds, is that when you're playing, like let's say you're playing this chord in the context of a song, and the song is in the key of A, and you are about halfway through the song, and so your ear is really strongly anchored to the tonal center that is the A major, that is first of all A, and kind of all the tones that are in the A major scale. So if I were to play an A major chord, if I just play these notes without playing the third, my ear is going to assume that it's a normal 3, and it will not assume that it's a flat 3. Even though I'm omitting this note and it's a little bit ambiguous, you would think, it actually in practice is not at all ambiguous, because your ear just automatically assumes that it's 3, not a flat 3. Now that's a really interesting psychological principle, like how and why your ear assumes, or it just kind of fills in the implied third based on the context of the music you've been listening to. It's really fascinating, and really getting into the science of that is beyond the scope of this video, but this is the truth. You can't omit this third. By the same reasoning, you can sometimes even omit the seventh. And so, wow, look at this. You can play 3 notes in your right hand and a root note in your left hand, and you're basically playing an A major 13 chord. So you're playing a B, a D, and an F sharp in your right hand, and it is equivalent to A major 13. Isn't that fascinating? So this is going to bring us to a concept called slash chords, which is I can play a root note, A, and I've got a triad up here. What is this triad? Well, B, D, and F sharp, from B to D is 1, 2, 3, minor third. From D to F sharp, 1, 2, 3, 4, major third. And so this is a B minor triad. And so check it out. A B minor triad played over an A in the bass is equivalent to an A major 13. So that is a slash chord. I I went to a jazz workshop one time. I went to the Jamie Aebersold jazz camp in Louisville, Kentucky one year, and it was awesome. And I took a master class with one of the piano instructors. The master class was titled Using Triads to Make Yourself Sound Hipper Than You Actually Are. And what he meant by that was you can play these triads up here. Like I can play a B minor triad and put it over an A, and it sounds like I'm playing a 9th and 11th and a 13th, which sounds, in the jazz world, you would call that very hip. Anyway, that slang cracks me up. So here you go. So you got, oops, that's not a B. That's a, here you go. B, D, F sharp, A major 13. What about another example? All right. Well, a B over an A would take this D and it would make it a D sharp because, so this is a B minor chord. And in a minor chord, the third is flat. So if I make that flat 3 a normal 3, we have B, D sharp, and F. And so what would this be called? This would be an A major sharp 11 with and sort of 13. Just forgot how to write this symbol, but that's okay. A major sharp 11, 13. And this is actually, if you play this, play a B major chord over the root note of an A. This is one of my favorite chords in all of music. I love this chord. It just sounds kind of magical. Okay, what about another one? Whoops, gave away the answer here, but let's figure it out. So if I played a G triad over A, what would that be? The G triad is G, B, and D. From G to B, that's a major third. From B to D, that's a minor third. So I know this is a G major triad. And the G is also the flat 7 of A. The B is the 9 of A. And the D is the 11 of A. And so this is an A11 chord. Remember, when I don't specify the 7, if I don't specify this as major or minor, the 7 is assumed to be flat because it's a dominant chord. So this is basically A dominant 7 with a 9 and with an 11. There it is. Okay, pretty cool. So what else? An E over an A. Okay, let's take a look. So gave away the answer already. I'm just going to leave it there. So we've got the A here, which is the root. E, G sharp, and B. There's my E major triad. And so E is the 5 of A. G sharp is the major 7 of A. And B is the 9 of A. And so an E over the root note of an A basically is an A major 9 chord. And look at the similarity. In all these chords, I've omitted the third. There's no third here. But in context, my ear will fill this third in, so it doesn't matter. It's all good. So if we go back to Isn't She Lovely chords, we have, here's a great example of that. We have an A over a B. So notice that the A is one whole step lower than a B. And because music is a formula, we can go back to what we've already discovered here. In this case, G is a whole step lower than the A, and so that is basically the equivalent of, like, if I had written, so in the, what do we have here? We had an A over a B. And so A over B, this B and this A have the same relationship to each other as this A and this G. And so this is a B11 chord. Pretty cool. Okay, so basically if this had said B11, it would be the same exact thing. All right, so that's just a nice, cool thing, and you're going to see slash chords a lot, especially online or in chord charts. They're just a little easier to um, kind of wrap your head around, especially if you're playing on the fly. Like if I see a slash chord that says B over A, I know what a B major triad looks like cold. I just know what that looks like. And so my right hand goes to that formation right away, and I put my left hand on the A, and all of a sudden I've magically produced an A major 13 with a sharp 11, as opposed to me looking at this chord symbol and having to think for a second and decide what notes go in it, and then have to decide what notes I'm going to omit. So this is a shortcut. Now there's one other slash chord that comes up quite a lot, and I want to just throw it out. So there's a very common progression, which is the walk down from A, G sharp, F sharp minor, and E. So think about that for a second. I've got A, which is, this is the 1 of A, and then my bass note is going from A to G sharp to F sharp to E. I'm just going ba-da. Oh, I'm not going to sing this right now because I'm going to screw it up. Basically, the 1, 7, 6, and 5, that's the walk down that I'm going to be doing. But instead of just playing like A and then playing G sharp diminished, which is technically the chord that is based off of the 7th scale degree in the A major scale, instead I'm going to play an E over a G sharp. And what that does is basically, instead of that dark diminished sound, it gives me a brighter major chord sound, the E major chord, which is, by the way, the 5 of A. And all I do is I simply am putting it over a chord tone that's already in the chord. So E over G sharp is basically an E major chord that I've inverted so that it's over G sharp. So this is another form of inversion, or you can think of it as a kind of voicing. And it's just useful because instead of playing A, E, F sharp minor, E, which is one way I could have done it, my bass note in this case would have gone all the way from A to E, back up to F sharp, back to E. And that would sound fine, but if I wanted it to be a smoother transition, kind of a nice flow from A all the way down to the E, then this is a really nice way to do it. I've got the G sharp that's available to me, and if I just throw an E chord over that, then I can get the benefit of the bass note walking down from the A to the G sharp to the F sharp to the E, and I can get the brightness of the sound of the E chord over this, so it sounds nice. So I recommend play this. Let's just so here are your bass notes, and here are the right hand chords. So A, G sharp, F sharp, E. These are the bass notes. You're going to play these in your left hand. And in your right hand, you're going to play the triads. So we have an A major triad. Here it is. A, C sharp, C sharp, E. We've already written out our E major triad here. Now let's look at our F sharp minor triad. F sharp, A, C sharp. And another E major triad, so I'm just going to copy and paste from here to here. All right, so we have A major in root position, E major in root position over a G sharp, F sharp minor in root position over F sharp, and E major triad over E. Okay, and because I know about inversions and voice leading, I would like to take this E and move it over here. And now look what happens. When I move from this chord to this chord, look at that economy of motion. That's so nice. This note stays the same. This note just moves one over. This note just moves one over. Whole step, half step here. And it just cascades down just like my bass notes here. And so you're going to play this in your right hand. And I recommend going and playing this right now. Go to a piano and plunk these notes out with your right hand, one chord at a time. And while you're doing that, play these notes in your left hand. Okay, and I bet you're going to find that sounds really nice and also probably very familiar. There are probably a couple of songs are going to come to mind that use this progression. This is an incredibly common progression. If this were in the key of C, then these would be the first few chords in the song Piano Man. This is also the progression. If this were in the key of E, I think it's E, or could it be E flat? this would be the chord progression in that Boyz II Men song, End of the Road. Anyway, very common chord progression, so check that out. All right, this has been a video about slash chords. And just to recap, a slash chord is when you have two letters divided by a slash. The first letter means the triad you're going to play in your right hand, and the second letter means the root note you're going to play in your left hand. That's the bass. And so we're defining this G major triad over the A, and so by just a trick of math, this is equivalent to an A11 chord. And so you'll often see slash chords on websites and on chord charts and in fake books and stuff instead of writing it like this, because typically, these are just easier to deal with. Not that you do, I mean, clearly now you have the capability to deal with these, but these are just a little bit faster to recognize. So there is one more thing in this video. So let's just go back. I'm going to get rid of this for a second and see this in practice. I've got, Isn't She Lovely? We have this F sharp 13 chord. And so I want to know what this is going to be equivalent to. So F sharp 13 is going to look like F sharp 13 here. And I want to know what is the slash chord that it corresponds to. Well, let me introduce a couple of, just expand my piano. So it starts on F sharp. All right, good. And now I'm going to take my major scale formula. I'm going to move it over here. Whoops. Try that again. I'm going to get rid of all this for right now, so I don't have to look at it. F sharp 13. All right. Well, my F sharp 13 chord is going to have the 1, the 3 of the F sharp major scale, the 5. Now, it doesn't say anything about the 7. What does that mean? That means it's a flat 7. I've got a normal 9. I've got an 11, and I've got a 13. And what are these notes? We've got F sharp, A sharp, C sharp, E, G sharp, B, D sharp. Okay, and what if I just decided, yep, I don't want to play these notes because my hand won't fit them. So now they're gone. And look what I'm playing. I'm playing a G sharp, B, and D sharp. What chord is that? From G to B is a minor third. From B to D sharp is a major third. This is a G sharp minor triad. And so this is the same thing as G sharp minor over F sharp. So if in this chord chart you had seen G sharp minor over F sharp as a slash chord, it would be precisely the same thing. All right. And let's say that you were just nervous or something that the 3 wasn't going to be interpreted correctly, or the 7. You can still play it up here. So the 3, remember, is the same thing as the 10. So if I want to put the 3, I can just play it right here. Now I've got this really nice clustering of chords. I bet this would sound really good. Try playing this right now. So go to your piano and play F sharp in the bass, and then play G sharp, A sharp, B, and D sharp. And you're playing an F sharp 13 chord. You're including the 3rd in the form of the 10th here, scrunched between the 9 and the 11. And I bet that just sounds like a pretty nice chord. So there you go. I hope this has been a practical video teaching you about not just what to do when you see slash chords like A over B, but also how to interpret big chords like F sharp 13 and how to omit certain notes so that you can play them realistically with only 2 hands.